What's up, guys? Welcome back. Tonight's story is one I've been sitting on for a long time. It happened when I was 19, alone in my parents' house, a house I knew better than anywhere else in the world. And what made it so terrifying wasn't a noise. It wasn't a shadow. It was a phone call from inside my own home. Stay with me on this one. It gets very real, very fast. There's a specific kind of fear that only happens when you're alone in a place you know extremely well, and something doesn't add up. It's not the jump scare kind of fear. It's not the loud bang in the middle of the night. It's quieter than that. It creeps in slowly. It starts as a feeling in your gut. Something is off, and then, piece by piece, you start getting confirmation. That's what happened to me when I was 19 years old, in my parents' house. On a night I was completely alone. Someone called me from inside my house while I was in it, and I didn't know they were there. Let me walk you through it, every single detail. Growing up in that house, my parents' house never really felt like a family home, not in the traditional sense. My dad traveled constantly for work, and my mom was almost always out, staying at my aunt's, going out with friends, coming home late, or sometimes not at all. That was just the reality I grew up in. I'm an only child, and I think my parents realized pretty early on how much they valued their own freedom, because after having me, they never really slowed down. So from about 16 on, I basically lived alone in that house. I ate dinner by myself most nights, watched TV by myself, spent entire weekends as the only person in the building. And at first, honestly, I loved it. It felt like freedom. No one breathing down my neck, no one to answer to. I could do whatever I wanted. But there's a version of loneliness that disguises itself as freedom, and you don't notice it until you're older. By the time I was 19 and in college, commuter school, still living at home, nothing had changed. If anything, my parents were around even less. I was just holding it down, alone. I knew every sound that house made. Here's the part that matters. That house was older. It creaked, it had its noises, the kind every old house has, but I knew all of them. Every groan of the floorboards, every sound the pipes made at night, every draft that rattled a window. None of it scared me anymore. I'd heard it all 1,000 times. That familiarity matters, because on this particular night, I heard something that didn't fit. That night, my dad was out of town for work. My mom had been talking all week about staying at my aunt's for some big family event the next day. She told me before she left, "It's just you tonight." And I remember thinking, she doesn't even have to tell me that. This is normal. I made food, watched TV, did my usual. Around 11, I went upstairs to my room and got into bed with my laptop, watching YouTube, something I did most nights for hours. My bedroom was at the end of the upstairs hallway. Door open, the way my parents always told me to keep it. Stay alert, listen for anything unusual. I liked the background noise anyway. It made being alone feel a little less stark. I got tired eventually, shut the laptop, just laid there scrolling on my phone. An hour went by, maybe a little more. Then my phone rang. No caller ID. The screen said, "No caller ID." I'd never gotten one of those before, not once. I stared at it for a second. It was late, that was already strange. I let it ring through, but then it rang again. Immediately, same thing, no caller ID. That second call is what made me pick up. My logic was, if someone calls twice back to back at midnight, it's either important or it's a mistake. Either way, I can just hang up. So I answered. Nothing, just silence. I thought it was one of those scam calls. The kind that dials to see if a number's active before adding it to some call center list. I said hello again, still nothing, but then, faint in the background, I started hearing something. It took my brain a moment to process what it even was. It was a TV, playing in the background of the call, and at the same time, through my open bedroom door, I could faintly hear my own TV downstairs. I'd left it on earlier, low volume, background noise. I hadn't turned it off. The moment I realized both sounds were happening at once, my stomach tightened. When it clicked, I started listening more carefully. The TV on the phone. I needed to know if it was the same channel, the same audio, the same moment. It was. Not delayed, not close, exact, perfectly synced. Every word, every sound effect, every pause, matching in real time, both through the phone and through my open door downstairs. There is only one explanation for that. Whoever was on the other end of that call was inside my house, standing close enough to my TV to pick up the audio, while I was upstairs in my bedroom. I tried to logic my way out of it. Maybe a friend was standing outside a window downstairs messing with me. Maybe the call was glitching and picking up on my own microphone. That can happen, right? But the more I listened, the more I knew. That wasn't it. That wasn't it at all. I got up, walked to my bedroom door, stood there, listened. 100%. The audio on the phone was syncing to the TV downstairs in real time. And then, I don't know why I did this, I yelled out, "Who's down there?" Looking back, that was probably the dumbest thing I could have done. But in the moment, I half convinced myself it had to be someone I knew messing with me. A friend, a family member, someone pulling a prank. The line went dead. They hung up.